this is going to be part 2. That got cut off, so we'll see how cut off it got. This is part 2 of favorite things, and this will be this part where the reading is. I was just talking about, I don't know how much we got into, Hex Clad Pan endorsed by Gordon Ramsay. I like it because of the space. I like it because what a lot of people, I went to culinary school, guys, many moons ago, and I had a catering business for many years. What a lot of people don't realize is that people overcrowd their pans. And so let's say you're sauteing mushrooms. People will just dump them in and be like, oh, they'll cook down. Well, if you want a really crispy mushroom that's delicious and meaty at the same time, and you want the magic of the mushroom to happen, it needs to have the Maillard effect where it starts to brown and caramelize and starts to take on that flavor that actually mimics meat. And it needs space. You need space for that kind of browning, because otherwise what you're creating is steam. And then steam is not creating that crisp crust and the fond that you get to release with a little bit of pan drippings and or some fantastic wine. Okay, anyway, this hex clad is fabulous because you can heat. Being that Gordon's a chef, and this is something that, you know, only a chef would think about, I think it's been designed so that metal utensils could be used on it. Now, while we don't recommend it because there could always be a potential for flaking up, I've had this and used it the entire year. I have loved it. It's been probably my favorite pan. It was gifted to me by me for me, and I love it. It goes into the oven up to 500 degrees. It has a gorgeous lid on top as well. And so if I'm meal prepping, this is fantastic for searing off several pieces of salmon at once without creating that steam, so I can get the crisp. It is fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And you can use multiple utensils on it and just not be worried about it. And I just thought that was so brilliant because everybody's like babying their Teflon because none of us want to eat the stuff that comes up off of it. Well, the release on this hex clad, the cleanup on the hex clad, I'm sure it's not the most healthy. I don't even want to know what level of toxicity, but as a person who cooks, I want my food to turn out good. And whether you have an electric range or a gas range, you're getting fantastic results. This conducts heat well. It is inlaid. I think it has a diamond inlay of something somewhere. Girl, I don't know. But what I know is what I like and what I cook with. Look at it. It looks like a brand new pan. And it's heavily used, and the durability of it, the weight of it. If you've been to culinary school, pots and pans feel like this when you're doing dishes. Trust me, you find it real quick, and much heavier than this too. So it was peculiar for me to adjust to a home kitchen when I left culinary school, and then I was catering, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want stuff that feels like when I'm like cooking properly for an army. So anyway, hex clad and endorsed by Gordon Ramsay. If you can't remember hex clad, it's endorsed by Gordon Ramsay. I'm not going to lie to you, you're going to spend money there. That's a very tourist moon item, but it's good. It's worth the money. Take my endorsement. I promise you, it's fantastic. You will not regret it. Especially what I did was I looked at the full range, and I have so many sets of pots and pans because that was a passion of mine for many years. So I only allow myself every couple of years or something spectacular to get a new one. And the year before last, I was gifted an Our Place pan, which for the aesthetics and the prettiness of it, we love. But this is like for someone who takes cooking seriously. Those are cutesy, and they get the job done. And then you guys kind of find that they stick. Have you all found that with your Our Place pans? No sticking here. No babying with the utensils, with the little wooden spoon that they give you with the Our Place pan. No hate. The colors are so vibrant. Someone gifted me an electric blue. It was absolutely gorgeous. I still use it. But this is my workhorse, and so that was one of my favorite things. It made cooking and coming back into my body and myself about that really natural, because you are only as good as your tools. Good knives, good tools. Anyway, off my soapbox. That's my old life. I don't want to even inundate you guys with that. So that is one of my favorite things for 2025. That was one of my favorite things for 2024. What's that? Oh, this is what I was saying. The reason that I only got that pan and I got the size that I got is because to get the full set, you might spend a bag. You might spend $1,000. Seriously. And I looked and I thought, what is the best functionality that I can get without getting several pieces? Like I need several pieces, like I need a hole in the head. What if I don't like it? What if it wears like the Our Place pan towards the end of the year? It won't. I can't justify the price because the Our Place pan was cheaper than this for sure. But I justified the price because I thought if it's quality, I'll invest into other pieces. But this is so good, I wouldn't have to if I didn't want to. And right now, we're holding the fort with this. I cook in this every single day that Jesus sends. When I say I love this pan, I love this pan. So it's fancy, it feels good, it makes you feel like you're doing the work. And also, I can attest for the fact that you get a little bit of grace regarding burning things and whatever, because it's just, no matter what kind of crappy range you might have it on or amazing range you might have it on, it's doing the job that good cookware should do. Anyway, okay, down off my soapbox with that. We could segue into something that has to do with that, though, which is salt. As a former trained culinarian, salt is life. Salt is everything. The one thing that's wrong, someone asked me this recently at a dinner, and they said, what's your background? I was talking about it, and they said, can you give me two quick cooking tips? And so one of them that I gave them was that people are afraid of salt. Things are under seasoned. And I'm not just talking about like seasoned like my ancestors and whatever. This is not a cultural thing. In culinary school, that was taught because salt brings out all salt and acidity, okay? Bring out all of these complexities of flavors. And that's why food that I find the most desirable is like the Asian and East Indian culture, that food, because there's usually this multiplicities of umamis happening. There is salty and sweet. Indian food specifically is fantastic for its chutneys that are spicy and sweet, and they're cool, paired with, oh, just amazing. Anyway, so, but salt is the thing, and salt is needed. Now, Cirque Tab had a salt this year that I love for desserts. Okay, yes, desserts. If you're not salting your cookies and your desserts, you're missing out. And it was a vanilla bean infused sea salt. I think there was something viral that was going around. You added this as something and it was supposed to taste like something. I don't know. That's not what I have it for. I just happen to like Circle Top. However, it's not a splurge, and that's the thing. I think not a splurge. I think it's retailed for about $13, maybe plus shipping. I think I got a few other things in that package, including some good vanilla beans and stuff of that nature. However, for me, for $13, if you ended up liking this, and you could tell the difference, so it's essentially like a ground up vanilla beans in the salt. I don't know if you can see on the bottom, it looks like black pepper, but that is the color of the salt. And yep, it retails for $13.99. See, no lies told here, guys. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but $13.99. So vanilla bean salt. For $13 to me, if I was feeling like that was my one splurge for 6 months or something, I think it's worth it. You make room in your budget for what feels right for you. So that's why I would say it's worth it. Okay. But the other thing, even if it's not finishing salt, this is so funny and so embarrassing. My husband's like, are you really going to take this? I said, I can't help it. Okay, I have rigged and saved this box. I literally brought this back through customs. And it is called Saltwerk. Saltwerk. I love it so much. Saltwerk. Can you see it? Saltwerk. And I have patched this box up. It is taped to the gods because I just never want it to disintegrate as it wants to do, because it was so well loved. Inside, they have hand harvested lava salt, which looks like this. It's completely pitch black, and it does turn your food black pretty immediately. They had an Arctic thyme salt that I absolutely loved. If you can't tell, well loved, well used. I've ordered another. This is the original. I thought I would crack out the original. I've ordered another one, and I just ordered it at the end of the month. You can find these on Amazon, but how precious are these to me that I brought home from Iceland myself? I will never get rid of them, probably. Okay, so that part, hand harvested birch smoked salt. So that's what it looks like. This one's a little bit more wet because of the additives in there, but it's beautiful birch salt. And then seaweed salt, which is fantastic and has bits of seaweed in it, also well loved and well used. Okay, so Saltwerk, which again you can find on Amazon or from their website. I don't know what's going on with the hurricane. I do, and I have salt bays and all of the things, but I don't know what's going on. Not the hurricane, the volcano, excuse me, which may have affected their ecosystem and may be affecting what they are harvesting. So I don't know. I'm sure they have plenty in stock. I would just check that out. I'm going to see if there's any website on here. Saltwerk. You can find them, it looks like, on Instagram and on Facebook. So it's at saltwerk.com, and it's spelled S-A-L-T, V as in Victor, E-R-K, like Verk. All right. This is one of my favorite things of 2024. I used it often and loved it so well that I've reordered because they were just fantastic, clean, larger crystals of salt. This would be considered a finishing salt, like Meldon, or Fleur de Sal, which is actually Fleur de Sal is from a very specific region in Paris. It can't, excuse me, not in Paris, in France. It cannot be named that if it's not from there, like Champagne and everything else. France does things very well like that. So this is from Iceland. However, I would say the structure reminds me of Meldon. Okay, Meldon is very specifically crystallized almost in a diamond shape. This is the natural Meldon. That's what I would compare it to. So that was one of my favorite things in 2024 too. And then let's have a sweet here. We are having just a series of interesting things happen. This was one of my favorite sweets of 2024. I have them in moderation because there's ingredients in there that are fine. This is a Chalk Zero, a royal truffle. It essentially tastes like a sugar-free Ferrero Rocher, but without tasting sugar-free. They're phenomenal. They're so good. As you can tell, I ordered some more before Christmas and have gotten into them, but I eat them sparingly. They are a nice treat, so I'm not getting a sugar bomb or a dump, but they make me feel luxurious. They retail for about $9.99 a box, which I think is not bad. I don't think it's bad at all, especially for being sugar-free, for feeling like you have a little treat with your tea or your coffee, whatever it is for you. And yeah, so that's a little moment of zen, of self-care that I do enjoy. We've got 2 more things here, and then we're all set, guys. I might refilm this whole thing because I had to I had to cut in the middle. All right, so this Fenty Skin is it's Butter Drop, whipped oil and body cream, and this one's like in a mango scent. This is by Miss One Rihanna Fenty. Oh my god, y'all, so good, so well used, so well loved. This is emulsifying. It's thick. It's hydrating. It is so fantastic. It keeps you from not being ashy. Like, real talk. Like, if you get ashy, this is an ash buster. It's fantastic. It's fabulous. Highly, highly recommend. It was one of my favorite things for 2024. Used it often. And came back for more and bought more. So that was like, I went through, the thing about it is, a little goes a long way. So I went through 2 tubs in 2024. That's the end of the second. So it's an investment. I don't even remember how much it costs. I just blanked out on that one. With Rihanna, sometimes you just be like, okay, if you say so, girl, whatever. Because the thing is, the quality is qualitying, okay? The quality is there. So I don't argue when it's quality. I will make the splurge there. My last favorite thing came in this year, towards the end of the year, but it is one of my favorite things. I don't know what's happening. It's one of my favorite things. I was just trying to feel the earth move under my feet. I'm going to tell you a little backstory about this. This is this beautiful green heart chakra envelope, and it says, Monette, you deserve this. You deserve this. Literally with a little heart, because hashtag we healing the heart chakra. Oh, before I talk about healing the heart chakra, you deserve this. This was one of my other favorite things this year. It was a piece of rose quartz. I invested and gifted myself for Christmas last year a piece of rose quartz, and it's a flame of rose quartz. Somewhere on my desk here I have the carnelian flame as well. Guys, this year, 2024 for me, which is now we're in 2025, but 2024 for me, I chose me repeatedly. I didn't even know I was going to have to choose me that often, that ferociously, that repetitively, that viciously at times, that self-protectedly. I did not know what I had in store for me. But my angels did, because they guided me to get this flame of rose quartz. Now I have tons of rose quartz in the house. I keep rose quartz everywhere. I always have a piece on my purse. And we're the girls that get it. But this was to help me not break apart and to become sullied by connection, love, friendships, platonic, anything, people. I had such a trying 2024 with people because I was going through ascension. Many of you guys can relate. So what will happen is people will begin to drop away. And so I fortified myself, not just with consumerism, but with something that would help me get through pain that I didn't even know I would feel. Even if I had to make every single cut, let me tell you, every single one hurt. And I'm not just saying that to say it. People don't understand that for us as empaths, that it is so unfortunate, because when someone starts playing with your like intuition and your mind and your clarity, it's like a great offense. And now you get the ugly me. You know, it's not even that I feel bad for them. I feel bad for me. I don't even like having to come out of my character that way. It costs me energy. And they love it because they just want to see it because they're bored and that's the most exciting thing in their life. But anyway, that was one of my favorite things, which I think segues nicely into this as we get into our self-care message for 2025. For 2024. It was this piece of flame rose quartz, which I held near to me, meditated with, and all of the things. Okay. Yes, the crystals work. So when I got this said, you deserve this. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of the backstory here so that you guys can understand why this matters so much to me. Because that has been said to me lots of times from people that said I deserve something. They could see what I deserve. They had got the download of what I deserved. They came in, they knew, but they decided not to give it to me at all. They decided to play with me. They decided to withhold. They decided to try to siphon my energy. They decided to try to take control. They decided to become like their lowest vibrational, narcissistic, toxic, you name it selves, right? And it's so funny, very specifically, someone in the last year that I had to like fight off like a demon that they were, said this to me. Now, I didn't even say this to the person that gifted me the next item that was my favorite thing of 2024. But I had to go into internal war. And I think that's why the rose quartz popped out here as a reminder. I had been preparing. Never forget that your angels are always knowing, always listening, and always seeing. To not get sullied off of friendship, connection, destiny helpers, soulmates, whatever was coming in. And what I went through was so rapid and so intense last year in 2024 that it rocked me. You know, they always say, never let them see you sweat and whatever. Well, we're not toxic here. And in order to get through, you have to transmute. And you saw me do it. But y'all know that it costs you something. And what it may cost you is a little bit of that innocence. And I know you're like, Monette, you are at your big age. What you talking about, innocent? Yes, my innocence. And your innocence too, collective. When we get rocked by those narcissists and stuff like that repeatedly, you start to think like, oh my God, is everybody going to be like this? Like, is it every single person because I love how I love or I am how I am that just sees me as a mark and wants to take advantage of me? Or get close to me to see if they can siphon and figure out what it is and take whatever gifts they want to take without doing the fair exchange of reciprocity? It's okay to learn off of one another and to up-level one another, but it's not okay to be participating in thievery and gatekeeping. And y'all know, if you know, you know what you've been through with people that have tried to destiny switch with you and copy you in your face wildly, boldly, blatantly, brazenly. So she says the same thing that this other person said to me, and I'm triggered AF. I'm not even going to lie. And I'm opening this very beautifully wrapped gift that's all in these gorgeous chartreuse and then deep forest green shades of heart healing green. And I slip all of this amazing crunchy wrapping. If you know what crunchy means, you guys know. From this beautiful friend who was crunchy and a destiny helper, if ever there was. And it reveals to me decks of cards that she's made, of which we're going to do our reading from today, that she gifted me. Pave your path, self-love, affirmation cards for exploring the true you. Made for humans of all ages. And they are by, let's see here. Wow, written and created by Atia Bloom, illustrated by Maddie Sinsel. That's an old teacher habit. You got to read the author and the illustrator. But the creator of the cards is my sweet friend, Atia Bloom. I've talked about her here before. She has a channel here where she also does yoga. She is a certified yoga teacher. She is a Reiki master. She is holistic and crunchy and magical and a unicorn and a fairy and just about all of the things. She and her husband have a very joint business where he's a chiropractor. I mean, talk about holistic. Talk about being in your alignment. Talk about being sent to your right person, okay? I'm so proud of sis. And I've watched her evolution. I've gotten to work with her. She's gotten to work with me. You know, on YouTube, people will talk often about, like, here's this thing I want you to try, and here's this product, and here's whatever. But you can't really vouch for the company, and you can't really vouch for the people. You can hope that you like the product. Like in some of my reviews here, there are products that I can tell you I like these, but I don't really know who made them specifically, not all of them, but I know who made these. And I know the character of the person who made these. And I know the integrity of which she self-searches and does her own work. In the last couple of years, as I was going through those rapid changes and ascension moments where I was releasing people that were not in my vibration anymore, whether they were toxic or I was toxic, I didn't care what, but it did not feel good. It did not work. In those last couple of years, I repeatedly said no, and I chose me with that rose quartz energy over and over and over, because I knew what it would manifest is people like this. And people like my good friend out in Cali, hey sis, who self-search their shadow and do their dark work so that they are up-leveling and not staying buried forever in dirt and never resurrected to a higher self. I can recommend these because the heart of the person that makes them is introspecting often and doing it well. She's not just asking the easy questions, she's asking the hard questions of herself. And she's going through the times, up, down, side to side, or whatever else, and transmuting it into something to see. I am so proud of my friend Atia. Absolutely. Beyond being a coach and a teacher, and she's an actual consultant, and she's super just techie and magical, and just, you name it, beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes, just grown and real grown and doing exactly what she needs to do. So she's made a beautiful deck for us here. Atia is a beautiful African-American woman. So these cards are from her perspective, though there are multiple beautiful pictures in here of every shade. Absolutely gorgeous. Just the cards themselves are just gorgeous. This one here, self-assurance. I accept my fears and doubts and try anyways. So we're going to pull. So this one deck is called Pave Your Path, Self-Love and Affirmation Cards for Exploring the True You. And the next one is Say So Soul, Self-Love Affirmation Cards for Exploring the True You. Tia also has other products, including tea, tinctures, and more. and more. But wait, there's more. So go explore. I'm going to connect and link her information below with another blurb that will go more in depth into who she is. But I can recommend this because I trust that this person's doing her work. She didn't decide yesterday that she wants to do this. She's been working away at something. And you know what they say, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. Well, she's already had her more than several times overnight successes. She's a real success. And that's because she keeps working at the thing and evolves it, as we all should do. So let's see what message Atia has for you. Self-discovery is the message here. I allow others to make their own choices. I'm focused on my own path. Listen, fantastic message which ties into something else I taught earlier this week. I'm my own competition. I'm competing with myself. Stop. You know, the thing about it is we can uplift each other and we can give aid to one another, but you can't always make someone drink the water. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So stop killing yourselves. It says self-growth. I release the old to create space for newness in my life. And it's this beautiful face emerging out of the leaves. And I mean, you can't make it up. The angels are right on time. That's why this rose quartz was so divinely gifted last year. Is because that's what I did repeatedly. In order to get to the place where I'm intersecting with people that are on the right vibration like me, I had to turn away vehemently people that were not on the right vibration. And some of those people have been there for a long time. 20 plus years, 10 years. This was no easy feat. Some of those people had real connection, real love, real passion for it. And I could speak freely about it because I did the work. They will not feel the same to me because no one ever likes to feel the opposite end of hell no, even though we know here in the collective it's absolutely provoked by their shenanigans. But really, I prayed the prayer that all of us pray, and then we're terrified when people start dropping off and going away, which is, God, show me the snakes. And then they show you the snakes. So I released a lot to create space. And the space in my life has brought in the most magical things, including solitude and peace. Meaning, I don't think we realize as empaths how much we're carrying of everybody else's fecal matter. And we have our own. It doesn't mean that you can't have a friend or you won't have a bestie or whatever. But your real growth happens when you do some hermiting to a certain degree. Next card here is self-resilience. I understand when it's time to work, rest, and receive. This is such a powerful card about our femininity. And one that I take umbrage with in the best way. I know this is definitely for me, and I hope it's for you too, but I will overwork. It's something that I am prone to do. That's part of my human design. I don't have sacral, so I have to almost be told to stop, or I'll just go until I essentially like pass out. So I've been really working on self-care and knowing when to receive help and love and nurturance. The reason that so many of us struggle with finding love, I have a video coming up about that, chosen ones in love and the lonely path. But it's so that you can find people that are one on your vibration, but also so that you can learn how to be in all parts of love. And that is to receive, that is to give, that is a time to put in work, and a time to just chill and be. Put it on cruise control. Let it coast. And we don't know that because so many of us carry so much of the weight in all of our relationships. And so the model of work, my angels were like, that doesn't work for us, it's for you. As much as you're capable of doing it, we want to teach you balance. Because I've been living very fatalistic. I've been very obsessed with success. And felt like I was spinning my wheels. And my angel said, get into how you feel. Get into that Empress energy of being quiet, of being in receptivity, of being beauty, of being peaceful, of being empowered enough to admit you're tired, of being humble enough to admit when you need help. If you're not in all of those active states for yourself, you will not be able to love somebody else. So you can't just overgive, which was my tendency to do. You have to let people give back to you. That's what I learned in 2024. And maybe for you, you'll see the truth too. Let's move on to her other deck here, and then we'll finish this up. That was lovely. I almost wish I had a cup of that tea I talked about in the first half of this. Pave your path. Self-love and affirmation. Self-narrative. I choose to make my world an amazing place to live in. What are you telling yourself? What are you melanated and non-melanated magical ladies out there telling yourself? This might be a good time to find your new favorite subliminal to carry you through 2025. This might be a time to listen to binaural beats or affirmations as you sleep so that you can start to really rewire your mind properly so that you can let new things in. Self-compassion. I am deeply loved at my best and at my worst. Oh, I love this. Someone's hugging our good sis. What I was saying about love is that it feels like something that's held back from us for a long time. And what you need to know is that people thrive and bloom, like a Tia bloom, when they have love in their life. If you have a real mission, you feel called as a chosen one, but you have battled with depression or mental illness of any kind, that is all part of the design to kind of keep you off your path. Because if we can keep you distracted with this over here, then you can never get to that over there, which is the real thing, which is the thing that you have DNA codes for, which is what you have a blueprint for, which is what the muse visited you for specifically to bring into fruition for the collective to see, whatever that may be for you. And when we stay atrophied and hermited and refuse to let love in, and I'm going to tell you, the first time that my good sis Atia is going to hear this is right now. hey sis, hey. Beautiful. It was so beautiful that my angels knew to guide her. They knew to guide you, girl, to have this be green, so that I knew you came in peace, because you don't know. And that's another lesson maybe for someone here watching. People don't know what all your triggers are, what you've been through. Even if Atia has listened to every single video or whatever the case may be, she does not know the intricacies of the pain or the blows or the manipulation or the lies that people wanted to play with me. I know. And they've been guiding me with the new connections that I've manifested into my life, that I cleared space for in 2024 so I can enjoy 2025. They're letting me know you have a long way to go, Monette, with your hermited energy. You've gotten a little rough around the edges, not very demure, not very pretty, because our heart will atrophy. I went through something with my twin flame that I thought forever changed me, but it didn't. It actually was a catalyst for me. I don't harbor any malice. I could care less about the person, whatever the case may be. I kind of always knew and expected. They were not scrupled, etc., etc. What really shook me, though, was someone who went out of their way to deceive me. And that affected me, just full transparency, more than I even thought it did. Thank God for this rose quartz. And thank God for people like this who were patient. Because I was deeply disturbed and hurt by that specifically. Some of the cuts this year hurt me. And not hurt me because I miss them, but hurt me because I realized how horrible people really are. Hurt me because I realized how far they will go and how low they will go and how depraved they will be and how avaricious and how greedy and how conniving and how manipulating. It wasn't anything where I was like, oh, my bleeding heart and I'm sad and I miss my fill in the blank. Absolutely not. It was me giving thanks. But I realized it readjusted me. You know, they say shifted your guts. Not in a good way. It shifted my guts. It made me look at everyone else as sus. And for years, I have dealt with narcissistic abuse and been in battles with everyone from cult leaders to bosses to lovers. And someone was so sinister and disgusting that for the first time in all my big years, they had me do a take back. Dealt with my toxic twin, all of that. Bested it, ate it for lunch. But this was a certain level of devious that had me fucked up. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about in closing. Do not let the thing that hurt you be the thing that hinders you from reopening. It's hard. Because at this point, right, we only have ourselves to hold accountable to say, you know what, if this happens to me again, this is my fault at this point, friend. Like, I can't even keep saying, you know, and not to victim blame or anything like that. But we will just have these rational talks with ourselves. And so then we vow and we say, I will never open up. I'm only everything's going to be absolutely controlled and shut down. But then what happens here is this, which brings me back to Miss Atia and her very, very thoughtful gift. People are dispatched into us too, sis. And I joked with Atia that I was the asshole that she was assigned to. And that's the work that I have here for you. It's Earth Angels and the assholes they're assigned to. And I always teach you guys that we are assigned a certain set of assholes, and I'll go more into that. But sometimes, no matter how much growing you think you've done or how much conquering you think you've conquered, the asshole will be you. And so they dispatched in a destiny helper after I dealt with a destiny swapper because she had work to do of helping me heal my heart chakra to even let a destiny helper get through. Because what happened, and I think it's okay to acknowledge that, took a little bit of the light out of me. Maybe the same is true for you. And no one's really affected me that way, and that's why I did the work I did, and I prayed the prayers that I did pray, and I shut it down so completely, because we have real missions here. And years from now, when you look back on some of those people that were sent in as higher level demons to disrupt you off your path, you'll understand this is where they were trying to stop you from getting to, from arriving at, is whatever destination is laid out before you. There are people waiting for who you are becoming, Deepak Chopra. And I will not allow, no matter what level demon, or how duplicitous, or how just grimy, low vibrational, bummy, good or bucket, dirt bucket they were, no matter how badly they were scammy, when I get to wherever that is, and I don't even understand because they don't even tell me, because they know, they know, they know, I'd be like, what? I don't want to go. I'll understand why they sent in some attacks that were really hard. Maybe that's a way for you guys to transmute and think about that. You had something from which you were trying to be held back, and so they'll send in their best. Every pest, every test. And you'll get out of it. But this is the first time in a long time where I felt the effects of it. And just like clockwork, they sent in a whole coach, a whole accomplished person, a whole person on her own journey, who's worked on her own codependency, who listens, someone who was assigned to me, because it's been me that's been the asshole. Hats off to you, sis. I know I've been a handful. She's been patient, and that's the kind of patient that she'll be with you. I know that seems like, okay, Monette, we get it, but no, I really want you to understand. In a world where everyone, again, in a world where they all told me I was deserving, and they told me their special set of skills that they had, but they forgot to tell me about all the chess game, mind games, and things that I would have to be learning to get ahead of the curve. And I still beat them at it, even though they were teaching me, ironically. I didn't know there would be this other side where I would need someone to come help and heal me, or God would send in multiple people, of which he has, that were destiny helpers, right, sent in at the right moment to help me with the right thing to help me move to the next position, or to move past such malnourishing energy. Instead, this woman is a nutritional coach too. I know she sounds like a unicorn, right? That's what I mean by meeting your tribe. People that are similar, but not you. They have their own life. They're not trying to destiny swap with you. They are doing what they are called to do in whatever realm. Before she ever met me, this woman had these cards and her teas and all of that stuff printed, stirred up, bagged up, cut up, whatever she does to it, it was already done. She didn't come in. This healed me too, wanting to do what I do. She does what she does. And she does it well. If you can't tell from those beautiful cards. Anyway, I will have the link of where you can find them below. But that is what I wanted you guys to know about some of my favorite things in 2024. What got me through, why I like them. I know it's a hodgepodge of randos, but it made me so happy. It made me feel luxurious. It made me feel well skilled with the Gordon Ramsay pan. It made me feel pretty, oh so pretty with the Bianco Latte. And it made me feel like self-care was happening with my beautiful assortments of delicious teas that are lightly sweetened, but sugar-free. We love that. We love a year of care. And I did not know that because I was going through what I went through, that self-care would mean so much to me. That a quiet cup of tea in solitude because I was demanding hermited. Like, my angels wanted me to be outside more, and I was so... It takes... For me as an empath and for the work I do, it takes me a long time to recover. I need to be away from people. People don't understand that. They think I'm rude or whatever. And I've got so much going on that I'm dealing with that they have no idea. And so you vibrate out of alignment with people that no longer fit you or feel you or doing that kind of work, so it doesn't even mean anything to you. The reason I can recommend you to this woman is because she's doing introspection work. I don't have to explain to her. She's got a very good handle on what her social battery is, and she'll tell you. And I love the accountability of that. What I've discovered as I've eradicated things that were taking from me or withholding or holding back or whatever, is that what I really appreciate is people that are honest about who they are and who they aren't. And they're not trying to compromise to people please me. They just know what makes them feel good, bad, or unhappy. And they don't compromise and they don't negotiate. And if I'm part of their connection with them, they're dealing with their own self. It's a powerful lesson of disconnection and detangling from enmeshments and codependency. People have their own lives and they might need guidance from you as you need guidance from them too, as I have certainly from Miss Bloom. However, it shouldn't drain you. It shouldn't overwhelm you. It shouldn't change you to love somebody. And the last person that I tried to love absolutely shifted me and made me see how ugly people could be. I will never forget that. I don't care where I go or where I live. You know, there's some people that you're like, my endless love. I realized, like, wow, I had that lesson that all people talk about. Sylvia Brown talked about it when she was on Montel. And she says that her spirit guide will always tell her, like, don't touch this person. Don't be involved because it's going to lead you down this whole karmic path and blah, 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 blah. And she loved this guy that came in and she described his hair and how he's walking in, how she ran upstairs at a party to, like, brush her hair because she knew she was going in for the kill. And she got him, but she got all the karma that came with him. Fortunately, I did not have some elongated situation with this person. However, it's that person that you're like, oh my God. And not even in a good way. Not even a hot, this is an amazing way, but in a, you taught me to wake up. And so at 50, boy, am I aging myself. I guess something magic's going to happen at 50. At my age, in my 40s still, I learned something about bitter pills and toxic people and why it is so important to keep your vibration high. Yes, I've dealt with toxic people, so I think that's why I didn't deal with this as swiftly. I will always forever regret that. It should have been faster. It's pretty quick, but it still should have been faster. It's because when good people like this come into your life, you're squinting your eyes. And it's not because they're not good. It's because you got hurt in a way that no one ever should. And you were treated in a way that only evil could. And it made you second guess the good. And there is still good there. Whew, there is still good there. And also allow yourself to be loved, to be helped. When someone have the wisdom to understand when someone's been dispatched in for you. And understand too that we all have free will. And understand that everyone has a choice to treat you well or screw you over or not. And that everyone answers to ancestors. Like, if I don't treat the person that was dispatched into me well, I'm going to have to answer to her ancestors. Everyone's not always a teacher. Everyone's not always a student. But I mind my P's and Q's because I know what the other side of it looks like. But that doesn't mean I haven't had a hairy moment or two. And the reason I'm saying this to you is because I think it's important to be vulnerable. I have, but I own it. I deal with it. I talk it through. I talk about whatever's happening. Again, this will be her first time understanding how powerful this card was. Not even, the contents were lovely too. I'm saying, but this outside, these words specifically, I was like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. And the beautiful thing about being in connection, having a destiny helper, a soulmate, whatever the name is for you, I would definitely say that Miss Atia is a destiny helper for me for sure. But having someone come in is that they will be hearing for you. And that's the difference, guys. And that's why you're cutting off the things from the past. It may not make sense as you're doing it because we don't get the net, we don't get the blueprint from the higher ups. They just tell us to move. And what I do is I never second guess. I move when they tell me to move. But they always say we're going to not only replenish your cup, we're going to overflow your cup. But it means that you will have to get out and away because What we're going to bring in is people that are in alignment with you that can feel your energy. When I'm talking to my friend in Cali, I have a couple of really lovely friends in Cali, but when I'm talking to my friend in Cali that is in your magical place up there on the gorgeous mountain, when I'm talking to her, we're having these moments of self-accountability, or she'll make an observation about me. And it's an observation that only someone who's paying attention to their intuition and seeing you clearly could say or see. Even if I don't like what it is, I have to be like, oh, there's truth to that. Because in her own cosmic way, she has my back. God bless, right? And this person is a fantastic dreamer. A true dreamer, which is so powerful. So, I've had some friends that have been dreamers. I feel like her dreams are like a head and shoulders. I'm not just saying that. She has very powerful premonitions. But she's hearing for me too. And I'm very cautious, guys. You guys know me because of what I have been through, to just patently take this, that, or the third from somebody. But I trust that she does her own work. So if I hear something, I take it into consideration. I don't immediately agree, as she will tell you. But I definitely say, okay, let me think about that. Let me circle back. And then we'll see. Or I don't agree. Or I don't want this completely, but I do like this. And so the reason I'm saying that to you is she's hearing and listening. For example, and I didn't even think I was going to get this deep, so forgive me, sis, but when I talk about this triggering me, even though this is not the moment, but there was something that happened where I felt completely triggered. And I was just like, let me just nip this in the bud right now. Because again, my big regret from the one that kind of shifted my guts was that I didn't stop it immediately. And I knew immediately something was off. Whoop. Yep. The pan's trying to fall on me. That's not a coincidence. Okay. So I knew immediately something was off. My point is this. I had my reaction. It wasn't a measured Monette reaction. It was me speaking exactly what I think. It was Queens of Swords energy, okay? This person's a Mighty Mouse. P.S., okay? So, even though it's via the phone, it's Queen of Swords energy. It's intense. It's swift because I'm going to correct something. She doesn't even realize I'm still feeling triggered. So, because I'm not talking to her about all of this, right? So I'm like, I'm not, oh, no, I don't like this. I don't like what this is. I don't know what this is. And And she said back to me, and it was so powerful, a teaching moment. Hence why I say get the ladies' cards. She's doing the real work. She says back to me, I had to sit with that. I had to sit with that because for me, it tapped into something for me that triggers me from a certain area of my life where I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and people assume X, Y, and B. And I had to sit with that. But then I also saw, and one of my favorite quotes is Zig Ziglar, seek first to understand and then to be understood. And she didn't tell me the quote. She demonstrated the action. She said, but then, she's an empath too, she said, I thought about you and we set boundaries and everything. So I'm not saying this was some mushy kumbaya, like come to Jesus. We both actively said, like, what feels safe for us right now? And a real conversation was had. And a meeting and an understanding. So instead of her just shutting down, which Queen of Swords, I don't intend for that. You're not consciously thinking of it. But if Queen of Swords comes out of any of us, we feel like we need to protect ourselves. On the protection, this is why they say heal so that you don't bleed on people who didn't cut you. I was about to bleed on someone who didn't cut me. Someone else cut me. This person was coming in saying beautiful, sweet things. You are deserving. So deserving. But I almost bled on her, and she didn't cut me. And I had to take accountability in that moment. That didn't go 24 hours. That wasn't a big deal. We dealt with it immediately. Both of us feeling triggered. The whys, the new boundary set, the amendment to the situation, the decision, whatever the case may be. And then continuing to do the destiny work that she was dispatched to do with me. To help me heal this thing. Unbeknownst to her, I was like, girl, I don't even know if you know what you... Girl! Because I know I'm not an easy patient. I'm a great teacher. I'm a thoughtful friend at times. I'm sure some would say I've missed the mark. But I'm a terrible patient. I'm a decent student. I do like learning. And so when my angels framed it to me and said, someone's going to teach you a couple of things here, I said, okay, that's easy. I'm a learner. But then they said, but it's going to be in all of your most vulnerable areas. I said, okay. What? And they said, you deserve it all. You deserve it all. You deserve to heal it all. You deserve to learn it all. You deserve to have it all. You deserve to be it all. And you deserve to have it from someone who actually follows through, who has self-efficacy and is doing the work like you that they need to, and they're hearing for you. Don't let someone hear for you and speak for you. But I like that this person was hearing energetically, or she get a dream or a premonition, and she'd be picking up exactly, when I say exactly to the T, the emotion of which was whatever triggered emotion was happening in me. The description of the dream would be exactly that. And that's why I say this is a person worth working with, because she's a person who's examining deeply. Not just for me. She has clients that she works with besides me. Anyway, the point is that people will be dispatched in to work with you, and you have to be able to receive that. And they're going to show you things that are uncomfortable to look at. It's been uncomfortable to realize how much something affected me. I thought I got out unscathed. I thought I did what I needed to do. And it's not because of some endless love. If you're fucking creepily watching, it's not about you. Fuck, it's not about you. It's about realizing that there are demons in the world that inhabit people like you. Sometimes you got to talk to these hoes. Like, it's not about you, okay? And I'm not talking about my sweet friend Bloom. Not at all. I'm talking about the people that just won't stop. It's insane. So, in any case, when you realize that that's the depravity that people will sink to, it really can affect. But I want you to welcome in whatever is next, okay? Y'all know me. I always got a story to tell. Y'all know me. If things don't go well, fair is fair, and all that. But what my angel said is you cannot always hold back in anticipation that it's not going to go well. If one of the cards that we pulled earlier from Miss Atia Bloom's deck, which was create your own narrative. My angels have really challenged me as of late to shift my narrative from whatever shithole I was in. And that just because you go through it doesn't mean you don't feel it. And people think that we're just like bouncing back forever. We do, but it costs us something privately too. But what I learned, I transmuted, and I did. But they send someone else in, and this is what partnership is about. And again, Destiny Helper, to give, like, you know me, I love a moniker, but Destiny Helper for sure. But let's say, for those of you that had love situations, and someone sends in the right energy that's love related, and you have a nasty attitude, and you're triggered, and while this is a destiny helper and a platonic friend, the themes that would happen were I to be soulmate dating have come up, right? Of like, how do I connect? And I don't trust you. And it's not about not even trusting the person. I don't trust you, whatever the past did do. And you will have the same thing. I think it's really cool that I'm getting to teach this to you because I'm not having to go through the bad romance. You know what I mean? Like, we retire. We're good. We're good forever, forever, ever. But I love friends. I'm a Leo. I'm not going to not have friends and all the rest of that. And I was like, God, did this person almost kill me? You just want to have a good friend? I have some, destiny helpers and people that I can be of service to, and whatever the case may be. That's another thing that I really appreciate about Miss Bloom and I's connection is that there's a reciprocity regarding our skill sets and our coaching. We both benefit from the work that we've done with each other. And now it's my season to put my life and energy into her hands. And I'm telling you something that I'm doing because it's something I would recommend for you to do too, because she's handled me just beautifully, and God bless. Because I'm gonna tell you what, like I said, a whole handful over here, sis. Especially because my job is to slay narcissists. So I get very mad at myself when I didn't slay them faster. And then I think, how come I didn't avoid impending disaster? And I'm just all a Batman comic book in my head of zoinks and wows and pows. And somehow I missed all of them, and the lights are just back on now, and I'm in a daze. So it's just a firework outside there. A pow. Wow, thank you, angels. They're paid actors in the background, the fireworks. But yeah. Yeah, but I'm back online now. Anyway, for you, check out Miss Bloom's work for sure, but also understand that knocking on the door for you to reconnect in whatever way you're wanting to, for those of you that are calling in romance, could be a similar parallel of, will you trust who comes in? What if they trigger you? I did not tell Miss Bloom that this was a trigger to me, but I have shared with her other triggers because we do speak freely. I just ate that and dealt with it because I was like, oh, that's directly for me. Even the color choice of card that they had her put it on, the angels knew that I would see it, I would know what to do, and I would know she came in peace. I want you to maybe pray that prayer or journal that whatever I went through in the past, God knows exactly the right tribes, family men, friends, peers, and if it's romantic and it's on that side in a different space for you, knows the right kind of partner or lover to send into you. Someone who hears, someone who's patient. I really love the model that they've given me of these destiny helpers and friends and fire fairies and all of this stuff, all of these beautiful archetypes that I get to see the other side of before we're going back into anything more intense or messy. It's so nice to just figure out like, oh, friendly. This is so nice. It's good. It's good. It's good. But it shook me because I still was shook, even in a friendship note. Does that make sense? So I was like, oh Lord, God bless the collective out there who's worried about actual love coming in. Like, you might be scared of that person, but I really feel like it has to do with the video that I channeled the other day, Shut Up and Listen. Maybe someone has something to tell you. I'm here just doing the work they asked me to do, guys. So, anyway, I have so many more videos I have to get out. I feel like I just rambled on in that one, but maybe there are some good nuggets in there for you. Again, all of Miss Bloom's information will be linked below. Now you know our whole story, though. Well, not the whole story, but you know the story. You get it. You get the point. And see if that's coming up for you regarding new friendships and tribesmen and stuff like that coming in. How comfortable do you feel? Are they next of kin? Are you suspicious? Did you learn your lesson? I actually think that that's healthy that I have a little bit of suspicion because it means that I did learn a lesson. It means that I will never be gotten again or duped again or allow myself to look the other way. Very much like Sylvia Brown, I knew that someone was coming in for fuckery. And I was signing off on it because I just happened to be the right kind of availably bored at that time. And what do they say? Idle hands are the devil's workhouse. Yeah, the devil built a matchstick house with kerosene and flames. And that almost didn't go too good. But anyway, guys, come back and join me next time. We're going to acknowledge when we need to heal and when we need to apologize. And also, when you have destiny helpers or new friends or fun fairies or people that aren't tricky in your life, give thanks to that. Honor them back and give them the same kind of respect. Every day doesn't have to be a good day. Every day doesn't have to be a successful day. Every day doesn't have to be an easy day. But every day, if you're part of this collective, should be a day where you strive for communication. That communication that we had initially at a maybe uncomfortable moment really shifted our trajectory because we knew like, oh, we're both grown up enough to process this. You know, a lot of people that you walked away from, you didn't walk away from them because you were afraid of conversation or confrontation like they may have thought. You walked away because you knew you weren't going to get anywhere. You walked away because they weren't interested in repair. They just wanted to combat you. You walked away because they were low vibrational, because they just wanted to come at you. You walked away for a lot of reasons and it didn't have anything to do with you being afraid of doing the work of love. Everybody in this collective is fantastic at relationships. It doesn't mean you're perfect at it, as I'm learning, right? It means that you have a handle on it. It means that you are supposed to be in them. It means that they help you to grow and elevate. This mirror of Miss Bloom, the mirror of my California friend, the mirror of a friend and another friend in California just calling to say, are you okay? These things get you through your day. No, they're not all cloistering. No, they're not overwhelming. But what they are is present and they're doing their own work and they're evolving. And that's what I want you to strive for, is figure out how to engage with the human race again without everything feeling so tender, like you've been blazing under the sun, okay? All right. Come back and join me next time, guys. We'll continue to evolve together.